Yes.
Terrific.
All right. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
You have had a busy morning of media, talking to some of our media friends up in Michigan in advance of this weekend. We're going to go ahead and start straight with questions because I know we have a short amount of time with you, and I know our media are excited to chat. So we will start with our first question from Bob Pockris. Bob, go ahead with your question for Brad.
Yeah, Brad, good morning. Can you kind of tell me your emotions about getting the deal done and any other specifics that you can share?
Sure. I mean, emotions obviously are very positive. It's nice to be able to really focus on running for a championship in 2020 and not have to, be worried about your job as much. Of course, you're always worried about your job, but not over the top worried about your job, as I think was becoming the case. And that, I think, hopefully will pay dividends as we make this run for a championship. I'm really, really hungry to win a second championship at the Cup level. I feel like we've been in this position a number of times and haven't been able to bring it home. Hopefully this is the chance to do just that. So a lot of thoughts about that and the ability to focus on it and not have to worry about, extracurriculars is, I think, very valuable to us as we get through this kind of final stretch, Bob.
And there's been a lot of chatter that maybe the choose cone could be coming for some races coming up, as well as a different way of setting the lineup. From what you've seen or heard, are you good with it? Do you have any issues? What are your feelings?
Yeah, there's parts I really like about it. There's parts I don't so much like about it. I really would like to get some reps on it and then take it from there. I was probably a little more hopeful that it would go to the lower series first and they could work the bugs out, but that's okay. I don't know what I don't know, and that's what makes me the most nervous.
Thank you.
No problem, Bob.
Okay, I'm going to take our next question from Claire B. Lane. Claire, go ahead with your question.
Thank you. Appreciate you being on today, Brad. Brad, can you take us through Michigan where you haven't won but would really like to get a win and the feelings, kind of like your relationship with Michigan as you get ready to race this race?
Yeah, I know it's a love-hate relationship in a lot of ways because I really hated leaving there the last few times, knowing how close we've been to winning and not been able to win. But obviously it's a love relationship. I love going there and, feeling like I'm back where I grew up. That's there's a lot of nostalgia that comes up in doing that and seeing families and family members and friends. But gosh, I want to win there so bad. And I know we've been so close. I know it's at the kind of right there at the tip of my fingertips, and I just barely haven't been able to reach it. So every time I go there, I'm just hopeful that this is the time, this is the year. And I think that's a good chance that it might be this year. So we'll see.
After you won this past weekend, you said you didn't just want to be good, you wanted to be great. And I love that. And I admire that because a mediocre or just, getting it done, I guess good isn't mediocre, but amongst great drivers, how hard is it to be great? Because there's a lot of greats in the field, and it's hard to define to the fans or anyone else how tough it is to want to be great.
Yeah, well, great is tough to define in general. What's the difference between good and great? And I think you could probably pull 100 different people and get 100 different answers. I know what great means to me. I know that great means, winning multiple races a year. It means dominating races. It means, being in contention for a championship year over year over year and not just making the playoffs. But, in NASCAR, I think that means being in the Final Four. I think that means going to the final race with the champs to win the championship. And so, there's been years we've done that. There's been years we haven't. I think that's probably the final definition of great is your ability to consistently do that, at least in my eyes. And, there's been years that we've done it. There's been years we haven't. And I want to be more consistent in doing just that. So hopefully we can do it. We can run all the way through the Final Four and win a championship. that's what great means to me.
And how hard is it amongst the greats in the field? I mean, a lot of great drivers, right? Everybody is at that almost great level. Some are at good.
A lot of great drivers, a lot of great teams. I think that realistically, you probably have 8 great drivers and 8 great teams right now in Cup. I think that's probably pretty fair to say. And those guys are really tough. A number of things can factor in, whether it be luck or timing of when your season comes together. That can propel you, or quite honestly, it can deter you. And so our goal is to be propelled when it counts in this final stretch, and we're in that. We're in the final third of the season, and we're close to the final third. We're in the final 40% of the season, and it's our opportunity to strike.
Good luck on getting it done, all right, at Michigan.
Thank you so much, Claire.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Tyler Burnett with MRN. Tyler, go ahead.
Yes, Brad, thanks for the time. This weekend, they're going to give away a heritage trophy for who wins both races from manufacturers or OEMs, or top 10 in points for the best top 10 finishes in the 2 races at Michigan. What's your thoughts on that? It seems like it's kind of like a Ryder Cup. Is it something that you would covet dearly if you won?
Well, I don't get to keep it for when it goes to the manufacturer, but I would like to hold it and one day walk it over into the Ford factory for them to enjoy together. I don't know where they keep it. I can't remember if it was Edsel keeps it when Ford wins it, or if it stays at Ford Performance. But I know that I would like to be a part of helping it, get back to Ford. And it was there last year, I think, when Harvick won it, and no reason to not be able to bring it back, right? So it's a cool little trophy. It's a good idea by the track to embrace its roots as the home of the Big Three, and I commend them for thinking that way.
Okay, we're going to take our next question from Dustin Rhino, and then we'll go to Lee. Go ahead, Dustin, and then Lee, you can follow after Dustin.
Yeah, Brad, thanks for your time this morning. You're obviously a past champion, have 5 straight years with at least 3 wins. But this year, aside from super speedways, your worst finish is 13. Best career average finish. Kind of off Claire's question, but have you ever been in this type of zone before?
It's I think I told somebody here a few weeks ago, Dustin, that this is in a lot of ways my best year I've ever had. And there's a number of metrics that you can look at to say something like that, or to justify that kind of response. And average finish is one of the best, in my opinion. So the cars have been, knock on wood here, very reliable. And that's a big part of it. Other than Daytona there, we've been able to avoid the wrecks. That's a big part of it. Being in good places at the right time, having the speed to dictate where you're at on the racetrack. So a lot of things are really clicking, and I'm proud of that. We'll see if we can keep that up. But, I think that's one of those stats, to go back to Bob's question, that I think defines great is average finish over the course of a season. And I think we're at an 8 point something, and the best I've had before that was a 12 point something. So we're not just a little better than my career average. We're significantly better, and that means a lot to me.
Thanks, Brad.
No problem.
Lee, go ahead.
Thank you. Brad, congratulations on your extension and the great season that you're having this year. For somebody like Bob Levine, who has made the heartbreaking decision that he did to pull out of the sport, can you relate to some of the emotions he might be going through right now? I mean, I think probably the biggest difference is the fact that you were a 3rd generation racer and he was more of a fan that got into this, but I can't imagine it's an easy decision.
Racing's tough. It'll make you bitter. There ain't no way around it. It's competition in all forms. It's competition from the driver level, the owner level, crew chief level. And, it's tough. There's no way around it. I've heard a lot of talk lately about the ownership model being broken. I'm not so sure I believe that. Sometimes I think it is. Sometimes I think it isn't. There's a lot to be said for the very pure and true competitive and capitalist model that NASCAR team ownership has. So it's got its positives and its negatives. I don't enjoy seeing guys like Bob Devine or anyone else, for that matter, leave the sport and ownership. Take no pleasure in their pain. But then on the other side, I do recognize that in competition, there must always be winners and losers. And maybe some people lose that don't deserve to lose. It probably happens from time to time. But it's part of the story of our sport, is that there's winners and losers. And we don't have to like who the winner is, and we certainly don't have to wish for someone to lose. We might not like who it is that loses. And I think in this case, Bob seems like a really great gentleman who's brought a lot to the sport in a very short period of time, but it's a tough sport. It really is. And this is part of that unfortunate cycle of life for our sport as well.
And as far as your own manufacturing company and, you know, the obstacles or challenges that you have faced during the pandemic, can you speak a little bit to that as somebody on the, you know, somebody who has outside interest in how your company is dealing with it? And I appreciate your time today.
Thank you, Lee. Yeah, so far really well. You know, the early days of the pandemic were really not good. Would probably be the easiest way to put it. We went from, you know, having our best month ever to having zero work at all, and zero revenues, which was really scary time. You know, I think what I'm seeing in the marketplace is a lot of companies are going back to work, and they're just saying that, hey, we have to get back to normal. There's no choice. And as it stands today, my company is doing the best it's ever done, and has built a backlog of work that we're very, very proud of. That'll serve a number of industries in different ways. So I'm very excited about that. I'm very bullish about where the company is going and what it can do, you know, for certain companies. And unfortunately, a lot of the work we do is extremely proprietary and extremely confidential and or classified. But it's been an interesting period of time.
Thanks for your time, champ. Good luck this weekend.
You're welcome, Lee.
Okay, we're going to squeeze in one final question before we have to let Brad go, and I'm going to take Christian from Fox. Go ahead, Christian.
What's up, Brad? Thanks for the time this morning. Do you think there's a little bit more of a little bit more aggression going into this weekend, considering this is your home track and you've yet to win it yet, although you've done really, really well here?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't hear who the question was from, but the home track is, you know, it means a lot to me. There's no doubt about that. Coming off winning in Loudon, there's a lot of confidence that I have going there. You know, Team Penske cars there were really strong last year. We probably deserved to run top 5 in both races. And we ran out of gas in the second one last year. But the Michigan racetrack has been a lot of fun for me in the middle of the race. I like the different lanes that have opened up, and I like the way they treated the track last year. I thought the racing was pretty good. But we'll just have to play it by ear on what we can actually do. And I know I'm going to give it my all. I can't control the result, but I can control the effort. I'm going to give it my best effort.
Appreciate the time, brother.
No problem.
All right, Brad, thanks for joining us. I know you have a hard out right at 10 o'clock, so we're going to get you out just 1 minute under, but thank you for joining us. We appreciate the time. And to all the media who are here on our Zoom, please know that we will have video and audio from Brad's session available on NASCARmedia.com later today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to anyone on our communications team. We'll see you again here in just a little bit with Joey Logano. All right.
Amanda.
Have a good morning. Bye, Brad.
Bye.